Hello and welcome back again to Lazy Universe Top 10. And again, we're still celebrating the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. And if you heard on my Twitter, yes, that video got copyright claimed for something. I'm going to hope and see what I can do about it, maybe even read up about it. But first and foremost, it was kind of like a little bit of an accident that just happened. I'm sorry to say. Basically, it was my fault, but I don't want to delete the video and then restart over because that would stress me out. Before we get into the top 10, I just want to explain it to you guys. Just to let you know, these two videos are just my top 10. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't reflect upon your guys' decisions. It's just my decision, just like the top 10 best episode, which you can go and watch that. This is the top 10 least favorite or worst, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing Power Rangers, very similar to like Batman, the animated series, and all that, even some movies, sometimes tends to, captivate its audience by like the trailer or some episode were really good and whatnot. But then sometimes there are some episodes that are completely bottom of the barrel and really, really bad. This is the category of really, really bad. Um, so these are my top 10 least favorite episodes, and I will try to explain why they are my least favorite. And if I try to quickly get through the episode, it's not because of anything on you guys, it's because of me trying not to get this video copyright claimed as well. Or if I just have to live with the copyright claim on that video, I will do that. But in any ways, and in any means sense, let's dive into my top 10 least favorite episodes. Just remember, this is just my opinion. If you like these episodes, you're free to like them. This is just me and my own personal opinion if I don't like them. You are free to like them if you want. So, also, you feel free to check them out if you want just to see if my opinion matters anything or not. So, that being said, and my rambling done, also, one last thing, be sure to check out Fearsome Female Day tomorrow on um, a Multi Movie Monday. Really, if you're not a fan of horror films, because I reviewed the two of them, watch it for the first, I think, like 9 or 10 minutes. I go into good detail about the first film, which is an autobiography. Check that out. So, without further ado, let's check out the top 10 least favorite episodes of mine personally. Storybook Ranger, the two-parter from season 2, is not exactly a great episode, and I will shortly tell you why, because it's pretty bad. The Rangers, Kimberly, Adam, Tommy, Billy, and Aisha and Rocky, are at a book fair where they're getting across a book to help the local library, until Kimberly comes across a book called, well, wait for it, Rumble the Magic Elf. Instead of waiting for her hubby Pooh, her Zeddy Pooh as she calls him, Rita decides to do this herself even though Goldar tells him, hey, listen Buckethead, I'm the one that makes the rules around here because I came first, not Zed, so frick you. Bulk and Skull actually is kind of like the funniest part of this video because Bulk buys a book called Monster Making by H.P. Totes, a play on H.P. Lovecraft and somebody with the last name Totes, to try and make his own monster to trap the Power Rangers. It doesn't go well, if you expect. And suddenly, right out of Blue's Clues, or Stanley if you remember, they get teleported into the book. And this becomes the whole thing. The Power Rangers get sucked inside the book and they have to find a way out. This episode's not very good. It's not made better when they reuse other people or other villains from Power Rangers. Like here is reused Mr. Tickle Sneezer from Season 1, Episode 9. Yeah, that's Mr. Tickle Sneezer. And now he looks even like he's more going to be in my nightmare tonight because of the veins. Thank you. They even reused the Primitar from one of my favorite episodes, The Wannabe Ranger. So, no, this episode to me is not very good. The entire purpose of the episode is to rescue the Rangers inside of a storybook. That's it. That's the entire plot and summary of just this one episode. To save the Power Rangers before they get destroyed and trapped into a book for all of eternity. That's it. They even have the Rangers all locked in a cave. Hey, look at the bright side. If Rocky and Tommy get hungry, at least they can eat Kimberly first. Bottom tish. Oh yeah, and because of the plotline, Broken Skull make a monster that was even weirder than the killer turkey from Thanksgiving. Weird. So Aisha, Rocky, and so Aisha, Adam, and Billy, end up finding these rangers stuck inside, and their morphers are frozen solid, so they can't use them. I don't see why they can use them anyways, truthfully, and they're saved by Grumble. Well, not only do the Power Rangers take down the turkey jerk monster, yeah, seriously, that's what he's named, but they also have to take down a villain from the book that Kimberly, Tommy, and Rocky are trapped into. Well, it gets across the message that reading is important. I understand, and I get that entirely. It's just still not a very good episode. It's not even very great written, truthfully. Let's move on to the next one. At number 9, also from season 2, it's Rangers Back in Time. And truthfully, this episode is not that good either. The Rangers are having basically a back in time day where they're showing off pictures of when they were kids, of their proudest achievements and what they learned after that achievement. And believe it or not, this gives Lord Zed an idea. Lord Zed gets the idea to send the Rangers back in time so they can become children so they can never annoy him. This becomes the plot of the episode, if you can believe it. But it's not long before our teenagers with attitude become second graders with attitude. A back in time episode just feels very lazy to me, especially how it's handled. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the child actors in this episode aren't fine. They really are, especially since they went to go work on Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers after that. But this episode just feels lazy. Again, nothing against the child actor. They really do an amazing job and they really do this film justice. It's just very lazily put together about how this all happened. What's even worse is that Lord Zed makes a camera monster and it's clear that it's put from the Sentai and it keeps cutting from the Sentai to the American footage. I love it. It's so goofy and stupid. So the Rangers become a photograph. Yep, really, the Rangers become a photograph. This is too hilarious not to make fun of, truthfully. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Oh, come on, I had to. As Jordan and Alpha basically try to figure out a way of rescuing the Rangers, but Alpha is malfunctioning or something. While there is nothing wrong with the actors in it, the story is just falling apart. Especially the lazy editing, especially trying to keep the monster of the film in the Sentai instead of putting it in American footage. But as you'd expect, Alpha had to tell these kids a ridiculous story that nobody would probably ever believe, and they believe him. They buy everything. They buy into the whole story. It's kind of funny. But the episode with the Zord action and the Power Rangers is rather good. The first beginning half of the story is just really damn bad and really damn impressive of how they managed to do such kind of a good story in the most ridiculous of ways. I will say this, check it out if you're interested, but if you're not, stay away from this episode because it is pretty dumb, pretty stupid, and really, really lazy. From season 3, Rita's Peter. This one is not that great either. While Tommy teaching a young boy martial arts trick, he also teaches him another trick, eating healthy. But Rita and Zed, mostly Rita, sees this as an opportunity to take control of Tommy and maybe destroy the command center by placing him inside of Tommy's body. So they take their monster and shrink him down and put him inside of Tommy. Once Tommy eats this ridiculous creature, he gets undeniably, unbelievably hungry and he must eat everything that he can get his hands on. Quite literally, and especially since he goes after Bulk and Skull's meal that they have ordered. First of all, the real problem with this is the acting. It feels really off, and that's saying something with a really incredible cast. They just seem like that they can't believe that this is actually the episode that they have to, record. Look, I agree. Eating healthy is very important as long as you watch what you eat. It is very important because it depends on how it makes you feel afterwards. But this episode really lazily handled this. And they stopped the monster By teaching Tommy to have self control, this makes the monster pissed off and then it leaps out of Tommy's body. Yes, seriously. And the episode is just not very good in this capacity. I'll admit, it's really trying to be a good episode, but it just falls flat on its face, truthfully. I'd check it out if you're interested, just to see what really does happen in the episode. But aside from that, it's a really dumb episode with a really dumb premise. But hey, eating healthy is important. This episode just didn't do it justice. From season 3, it's Wizard for a Day. And yeah, this episode too, truthfully, isn't very good either. It starts out simple enough as a simple practicing exercise before things go, well, wrong as Rocky walks in. Turns out Rocky had to switch places with the teacher for a day. I never got to do this when I was a senior. I'm pretty sure other people have probably. But he gets to switch it with one of the worst teachers imaginable according to the team. This episode also is not great because they play off the teacher, named Mr. Wilson, as a frickin' jackass or a frickin' asshole. But this inspires Rito and Zed and Rito Repulsa to go after Mr. Wilson and turn him into a monster. The episode does a really good job, I have to say, of showing how difficult that being a student and even being a teacher can be, because there are certain aspects that you have to look at that no one does. Like for Rocky, he ended up butchering a science experiment. Mr. Wilson, he ends up trying to be a smarty pants or a smartass and getting in trouble with the teacher for talking while not being called on. It's kind of really intense to see characters really much like this. There's even a nice moment where Rocky and Mr. Wilson talk to each other and really get on each other's hand about how things are going. But we can't have nice scenes with Lord Zed and Rita, can we now? So it's not long before Mr. Wilson is changed into Mondo the Meanie. Yep, you heard right. But the Rangers don't want to hurt Mr. Wilson, but there's only one way to save him. And you won't believe what it is. According to Jordan and Alpha on this episode, Rocky had to destroy Mr. Wilson. Yep, that's the thing. That's the thing of this episode. But as you'd expect, they end up doing so. Wizard for a Day is a pretty good episode in one aspect, but then the story falls flat in the second half. Check it out if you're interested, though I don't recommend it. At number 6 from season 2, it's a real fish story. And yeah, this one is not bad, it's bad too, truthfully. The main focus of the episode is a little boy who's afraid of the water because he believes that a monster lives in the water, truthfully. But Lord Zed sees this as an opportunity to make a real monster in the water. We also learn that, well, the water can be scary. As a guy that's obsessed with the ocean, truthfully myself, I actually love the ocean and I don't see nothing terrifying about it, truthfully. So yes, Lord Zed summons up a shark monster. Okay, look, or a lot of fish monsters. Okay, one thing to discuss here. People can be afraid. People do have fear. It's rational to have fear. Here's just the one thing. You don't take a young man's fear and transform it into the process line of the episode. This isn't good on your part, I have to add. And also, he summons up every single fish creature from season 1 and also a little bit of season 2. This episode is just freaking weird, man. But it's not before long before the little boy ends up facing his fears and actually saves the broken skull, which is a pretty cute moment, truthfully, and a great way to end off the episode in total. A Real Fish Story is not a very good episode, truthfully, but it does try to get its point across, but taking a young boy's fear and making it the full total length of the episode only to have him conquer it, that's pretty stupid all in all, and I don't like this episode for it. From Season 1, Episode 9, For Whom the Bell Tolls. The main focus of the episode is something called Hobby Day, where people can bring in their favorite hobbies, and for Twinny, played by Zoe Twain, it's dolls. There's nothing wrong with dolls in this episode, except for this thing that comes straight from my hidden nightmares I never knew that I had when I was a kid. Mr. Tickle Sneezer. So Twinny goes to bed pretty impressed that she's happy for Mr. Tickle Sneezer, including wearing a nightgown, and puts Mr. Tickle Sneezer right next to her while she sleeps. Even more creepier. So Rita sends the big blueberry himself, Babu, to affect Mr. Ticklesneezer, transforming him from a innocent, creepy little doll and turning him into, well, an even creepier doll. I hate this episode so much. So Rita ends up using Mr. Ticklesneezer to her advantage, basically abusing him and telling him to take anything that he wants and trap it inside of his bottles, while Billy and Trinity look for Mr. Ticklesneezer. This suddenly turns into a horror film when Mr. Ticklesneezer saves Trinity and Billy inside of one of his goodie bottles, and will not let them go. Well, even though he tells them that he won't hurt them, but he probably would. Also, this episode loves to put the Rangers in danger because they almost have them ran over by a train. That's wow. But do you want to know what the worst part about this episode is? Right when it gets down to the nitty gritty of it, they tell Mr. Ticklesneezer to put things back where he found them. But then the worst thing happens. According to the episode, Trini was dreaming the entire thing, making it even more stupid and all the more ridiculous. For Whom the Bell Tolls is not a very good episode, especially for the ending. Not really the villain itself, but the ending, making it a dream sequence that Trini had and making her dream the entire thing happened. So it was all in her mind. I really hate this episode, and especially for Mr. Ticklesneezer's design, which I will forever be seeing in my nightmares for the rest of my eternity. On to number 4. At number 4 from season 2, Opposites Attract. Billy is interested in a magnet storm that is soon coming to Angel Grove, because science rules. But Billy takes an interest into Kimberly's friend, who also takes an interest into him, but he doesn't want to date nobody because he sees himself as awkward and quirky. Ah, poor Billy, just go for it, man. Or go for Trini, she seems interested in you. Zed transforms Billy's magnet device into a magnet monster. And what does the magnet monster do, you might ask? Change the Earth's magnetic axis so the world is thrown off balance. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And somehow, even though I said that doesn't make any fucking sense, it does for this episode as it turns the world basically oopsie-doopsie and off its axis for a short time. This is stupid. Opposites Attract is not a very good episode, especially when it throws science underneath the bus and says, "Ha, science, I laugh in your face," by telling us the world can be thrown off its axis by its magnetic poles. Bite me. Check it out if you're interested, but I, however, would not recommend it because it's a pretty dumb episode with a pretty kind of dumb premise, and again, they throw science under the bus. Screw you to science, I guess. Number 3 from season 2, Putty on the Brain. Zach goes to Billy up with these sunglasses, and this becomes the premise of the video of it turning into John Carpenter's They Live. Zed sees the glasses as an opportunity to get Billy and Zach against their fellow teammates by turning the glasses into putty vision glasses. This is his plan. So once Billy and Zach put the glasses on, all their friends and only their friends become putties. See why it makes so much of a reference for me to name it after They Live? It basically takes the premise of They Live and turns it even worse. The whole episode plays on Billy and Zach's paranoia and really makes it stretched out far too long for their paranoia to be played on. Putty on the Brain seems like it really wanted to be more of an episode, and yet sadly it falls flat from that, especially playing on the paranoia and trying to be John Carpenter's They Live, but even worse in that movie. I would check it out if you're rather interested, but just note that it is a very not good episode, especially playing on paranoia of 2 teenagers and really making it the point and driving the point home as bad as it can. On to number 2. The final 2-parter from Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, Hog Day Afternoon. This is just not a very good episode. The Rangers get the Zeo crystals all intact, but there's a small problem. The small problem being that there's an alien creature known as the Hydro Hog that's going to take all the water from the world away. This was the plan. This was the plan, to have this man, or monster, take away the entire world supply of water and turn it against the Aquatian Rangers. That is freaking nuts. Look, I know that this is Power Rangers. This is a kid show for young children. I get that. I understand. But it still makes no sense that he takes away the whole entire water supply, leaving the Aquatian Rangers for dead. Holiday Afternoon Part 1 and 2 is a pretty stupid episode that shows, yeah, water is important for everyone, but the Aquatian Rangers have a planet full of water that they never go back to. What the fuck? What's even worse is that they have the actors acting like they're running out of water. Good job on them, but still, it kind of drives the point home way too fast, in my opinion. Holiday Afternoon was a really bad ending to go out on for Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, which was a pretty good series all in all. Check it out if you're interested, but really not recommended, especially with a stupid plot. On to number one. And at number one from season 2, Missing Green. This episode was really bad because it plays on the bromance of Tommy and Jason. And Jason trying to practice, but he can't concentrate because he misses his bro. They even have Tommy in this episode, played by Jason David Frank, appear as a ghost looking like this. Like, man, I miss you guys so much. Alright, snuck aside, I really do understand the friendship between Tommy and Jason, and especially Jason beating himself up over what happened in the Green Candle. But that was from season frickin' 1. Why would we care anymore? What's even worse, Lord Zed makes the same plan that happened to Tommy happen to the other Rangers. Using the same wick from the Green Candle from the episode The Green Candle, and uses it against the Rangers, making them weak to lose their powers. This is fucking stupid. The Green Candle alone was an iconic episode, but taking this premise and turning back against the Green Candle two-parter was just nuts. It's an honorable episode for trying to show Jason being supportive of his friends, but still. This is, in a way, a good Jason episode because it really gets across how good of a leader that Jason can be, and he really can be, but still, this was stupid for taking the Green Candle premise and throwing it under the bus and then feeding it to the dogs. But it's only meant for Tommy to make his epic debut and epic return in White Light, which I talked about in my top 10 favorite episode. But this episode is still just not really fucking good, at least in my opinion. Missing Green is not a very good episode again for throwing the Green Candle under the bus, but for what it's worth, it's a pretty admirable episode for trying to introduce Jason and even being a more of a leader, even though he's already pretty good in people's opinion. Check it out if interested, but not recommended. Now, let me be the first to say this. I want to apologize to anyone that's a fan of either one of these episodes. I mean no offense in anything that I've said or done. If these are your favorite episodes, you're entitled to like what you like, but entirely I didn't like those episodes all in all. But one thing I'll admit is that Power Rangers will always be one of my favorite series of all times, and I love this box set, and I would even show my kids this if they're older. It would get to the age. If they like it, they like it. If not, nah, it's okay for them to try new things. Power Rangers, as far as I'm concerned, will still be around even when I'm an old man. It has a huge fan base, a really big cult following, and you know what? It's still damn good. Even though some of the episodes might be bad or they might be stupid, you can still enjoy them for what they are. So, keep on morphing, because this episode is just these episodes, while not very good, they can still be entertaining, at least in my opinion. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your least favorite Power Ranger episodes are, just Mighty Morphin, not the other seasons. And maybe I'll do this again in the future when Zeo, my favorite series, reaches its 30th year anniversary too. But let's wait on that. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my top 10 best episode that I did last week. Thank you guys for being all supportive and whatnot for me. And be sure to check out Future Female Day tomorrow for Multi Movie Monday. I think you guys will like it. Until then, see you next time.